The soul begins to stir. Serafina, Hartwell 5. Spiritual Awakening Book. By Soul Sanctuary Audio. Copyright Serafina, Hartwell. Introduction. Awakening the Soul. A sacred companion for your journey. Awakening isn't a singular event. It's a spiraling journey of remembering, releasing, and returning. It is an unfolding process that invites you to step beyond the familiar boundaries of your known world and explore the vastness of who you truly are. In this sacred companion, the soul begins to stir. We embark together on a transformative exploration of spiritual awakening, a journey that may feel disorienting at times, but is ultimately beautiful, profound, and deeply liberating. If you've picked up this book, chances are you've already begun to sense that there's more to life than what meets the eye or what society has told you. Perhaps you felt a subtle craving, a whisper from within that something greater exists. Maybe your current reality no longer fits, leaving you restless and yearning for change. Or maybe you're further along the path, navigating waves of grief, confusion, and identity loss as old structures crumble to make way for new growth. Wherever you find yourself in this process, know this: you are not alone. This series, Awakening the Soul, is designed to meet you where you are in your unique journey. Each book focuses on a specific phase of awakening, from the initial cracks in your worldview to the emotional turbulence that follows, the unraveling of the ego, and the eventual emergence of soul alignment. Through storytelling, reflective questions, energetic practices, and somatic tools, these books aim to demystify the awakening process while honoring its sacred mist. Airy. Spiritual growth is not always light and love. It is also grief, confusion, and deep internal reorientation. Ion. But on the other side of these challenges lies extraordinary clarity, peace, and power, the kind that comes from aligning with your true self. This is not about bypassing difficulties, but embracing them as integral parts of the journey toward wholeness. As you read, you'll discover how to ground your awakening into everyday life, whether in your relationships, work, purpose, or self-care. These books will guide you in staying rooted even as your inner world shifts dramatically. You'll learn about energy sensitivity, empath fatigue, and the delicate balance between sovereignty and surrender. If you've ever felt too sensitive, too emotional, or like the world no longer makes sense, this series validates your experience. You are not broken, you are awakening. And awakening often requires letting go of everything you thought you were so that you can remember who you truly are. Awakening the soul is for those brave enough to see beyond the illusion, to feel what others numb, and to reclaim their power, not through control but through remembrance. The path is not linear. It is a spiral, one that brings you deeper home to yourself with every turn. In The Soul Begins to Stir, we focus on the early stages of awakening, the moments when the soul begins to stir, nudging you out of complacency and into curiosity. From recognizing the call of awakening to navigating discomfort, deciphering signs, and tuning into the language of your soul, this book lays the foundation for understanding and embracing the awakening process. Along the way, you'll encounter stories, exercises, and reflections designed to support you in trusting your intuition, peeling back layers of conditioning, and surrendering to the divine unfolding of your journey. Remember, this is not just a book, it's a companion. It holds space for you as you navigate the highs and lows, the light and shadow, the chaos and stillness of awakening. Let it be a mirror reflecting back to you the truth of who you are, and a lantern illuminating the forward. Welcome to the beginning of a journey that will bring you closer to yourself than ever before. 1. The subtle craving, feeling the whisper that something more exists. Recognizing the call of awakening. Have you ever felt a quiet longing, a persistent whisper that something more exists beyond the surface of your everyday life? It might manifest as a vague dissatisfaction with your current circumstances, a yearning for meaning, or a sense that there's a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered. This feeling is what I call the subtle craving, the first signpost on the awaken journey. For many, this craving begins as an almost imperceptible sensation, easily dismissed or rationalized away. Society teaches us to prioritize external achievements, material success, and societal approval. So when we start questioning whether these things truly fulfill us, it can feel unsettling. Yet this unease is precisely the point where awakening begins. The subtle craving is your soul's way of calling you back to yourself, urging you to look beyond the illusions of separation and scarcity and reconnect with the essence of who you are. But why does this craving arise? To answer that, we must first understand the nature of the human experience. Most of us spend much of our lives operating from a conditioned mindset, one shaped by family expectations, cultural norms, and societal pressures. We learn to suppress our authentic desires and conform to external standards, believing that doing so will bring happiness and security. Over time, however, this suppression creates a disconnect between our outer lives and our inner truth. The subtle craving emerges as a response to this disconnect, signaling that it's time to realign. The illusion of comfort. One of the greatest paradoxes of awakening is that it often begins with discomfort. Many people resist the stirring of their souls because it disrupts the illusion of comfort they've built around themselves. After all, it's easier to stay in a predictable, albeit unfulfilling, routine than to venture into the unknown. But here's the thing. The discomfort you feel is not a flaw, it's a gift. It's a nudge from the universe, inviting you to expand beyond your perceived limitations. Consider the story of Maya, a corporate executive who had spent years climbing the ladder of success. On paper, her life was enviable: a high-paying job, a luxurious apartment, and a bustling social calendar. Yet, despite her outward accomplishments, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. She described it as a hollow ache in her chest, a persistent sense that she wasn't living authentically. At first, she tried to ignore it, throwing herself into work and distractions. But the more she resisted, the louder the craving became until she could no longer deny it. Maya's story illustrates a common pattern in the awakening process. When we suppress our inner whispers, they grow louder, demanding our attention. Discomfort, then, is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It's a sign that your soul is ready to break free from the confines of conditioning and step into a fuller expression of itself. Listening to the whispers. So, how do you begin to listen to the whispers of your soul? The first step is awareness, simply noticing when you feel out of sync with your surroundings or overwhelmed by a sense of longing. Pay attention to moments when you catch yourself daydreaming about a different life or feeling inexplicably drawn to certain ideas, people, or places. These are clues pointing you toward your true desires. Journaling can be a powerful tool for cultivating awareness during this stage. Set aside some quiet time each day to write freely about what you're feeling. Ask yourself questions like, what aspects of my life feel fulfilling, and which ones feel empty? When was the last time I felt truly alive and connected to something greater than missile? What dreams or aspirations have I set aside because they seemed impractical or unrealistic? Don't worry if your answers aren't clear right away. The goal is simply to create space for reflection and allow your inner voice to emerge. Over time, patterns will begin to reveal themselves, guiding you toward the next steps on your journey. distinguishing between desire and distraction. Of course, not every craving stems from the soul. Sometimes what feels like a call to awaken is actually a distraction, a fleeting impulse driven by fear, boredom, or societal Sure, learning to distinguish between genuine soul cravings and superficial desires is crucial. Here's a simple exercise to help you discern. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Bring to mind the longing or craving you've been experiencing. Now ask yourself, does this desire resonate in my heart, or is it coming from my head? Do I feel expansive and inspired when I think about pursuing it, or do I feel contracted and anxious? Trust your body's wisdom. It knows the difference. Embracing the mystery. Finally, it's important to approach the subtle craving with humility and openness. Awakening is not about having all the answers. It's about embracing the mystery and allowing yourself to be guided by curiosity rather than certainty. As Rumi once said, let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you are. Love. This chapter marks the beginning of your journey into the unknown. By acknowledging the subtle craving and leaning into the discomfort it brings, you take the first courageous step toward awakening. Remember, you don't need to have everything figured out right now. All you need is the willingness to listen, to trust that the whispers you hear are leading you exactly where you need to go. In the chapters ahead, we'll delve deeper into the signs and sensations of awakening, explore the role of intuition, and uncover practical tools for navigating this process. For now, simply honor the fact that your soul has begun to stir. This is no small thing. It's the spark that will ignite the fire of you are awakening. 2. Discomfort as divine nudge. When your life no low. Inger Fitz. The nature of discomfort in awakening. Discomfort is often the first tangible sign that something within you is shifting. It might begin subtly, a vague sense of unease, a restlessness that lingers despite outward success or stability. For others, it arrives more dramatically, like a sudden storm disrupting the calm surface of their lives. Whatever form it takes, discomfort during awakening serves a sacred purpose. It acts as a divine nudge, urging you to expand beyond your current limitations and ace the unknown. At its core, discomfort arises when there's a misalignment between who you truly are and how you're living your life. Society teaches us to seek comfort, security, and predictability, but these very constructs can become cages that trap our souls. Awakening disrupts this illusion, forcing you to confront the ways in which your external reality no longer reflects our inner truth. This disruption can feel chaotic, even painful, but it is also profoundly necessary. Without discomfort, growth would remain stagnant. Without chaos, transformation be impossible. Consider the metaphor of a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. Before it can spread its wings and take flight, it must endure the process of breaking free from its cocoon. A process that likely feels uncomfortable, even unbearable, to the butterfly. Similarly, the discomfort you experience during awakening is not an obstacle, but a vital part of your evolution. It signals that you are ready to shed old layers and step into a new version of yourself. Why does discomfort arise? To understand why discomfort is such a powerful catalyst for awakening, we must first examine the role of conditioning and shaping our lives. From a young age, we are taught to conform, to suppress certain emotions, prioritize specific goals, and adhere to societal norms. Over time, these patterns of behavior become ingrained, creating what some call the false self. The false self operates on autopilot, driven by fear, approval-seeking, and survival instincts. While it may provide temporary comfort, it ultimately keeps you disconnected from you. Our authentic essence. Awakening begins when the soul rebels against this conditioned existence. It starts with small whispers, a nagging feeling that your job lacks meaning, a growing dissatisfaction with superficial relationships, or a yearning for creative expression that has been suppressed. These whispers grow louder over time, manifesting as physical symptoms: fatigue, headaches, digestive issues, emotional turbulence, anxiety, irritability, sadness, or existential questioning. Is this all there is? Collectively, these signs point to one undeniable truth: your current way of being no longer fits. It's important to note that discomfort doesn't always stem from external circumstances. Sometimes, everything in your outer world appears fine, perhaps even ideal, and yet, internally, you feel unmoored. This internal dissonance occurs because awakening originates at the soul level, where authenticity reigns supreme. No matter how polished or successful your external life may seem, if it fails to align with your soul's desires, discomfort will inevitably arise. Navigating discomfort. Without resistance. While discomfort is a natural and necessary aspect of awakening, navigating it requires skill and awareness. One of the biggest challenges people face during this stage is resisting the discomfort instead of leaning into it. Resistance takes many forms: numbing through distractions, social media, TV, alcohol, seeking quick fixes, shopping sprees, impulsive decisions, or doubling down on old habits in an attempt to regain control. Unfortunately, resistance only prolongs the pain, delaying the inevitable need for change. Instead of resisting, try embracing discomfort as a teacher. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What needs to shift in my life? By reframing discomfort as a guide rather than an enemy, you open yourself up to profound insights and opportunities for growth. Here are a few strategies to help you navigate discomfort with grace. Breathe through it. When discomfort strikes, pause and take several deep breaths. Focus on the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. Breathing consciously helps calm the nervous system and create space for clarity. Get curious. Instead of judging or avoiding uncomfortable feelings, approach them with curiosity. Journal about what you're experiencing, using prompts like, where do I feel this discomfort in my body? What thoughts or beliefs accompany it? Practice radical acceptance. Acknowledge that discomfort is a natural part of the human experience. Remind yourself that it won't last forever and that it holds valuable lessons for your growth. Seek support. Share your feelings with trusted friends, mentors, or therapists. Talking about your discomfort can help you gain perspective and feel less alone in the process. Engage in somatic practices. Movement-based practices like yoga, tai chi, or dance can help release stored tension and reconnect you with your body's wisdom. By adopting these tools, you transform discomfort from a source of suffering into a source of empowerment. Each wave of discomfort becomes an opportunity to deepen your self-awareness and strengthen your resilience. Distinguishing temporary dissatisfaction from true awakening. Not all forms of discomfort indicate a spiritual awakening. Sometimes, what feels like a call to awaken is actually temporary dissatisfaction, perhaps due to stress, burnout, or unresolved trauma. How can you tell the difference? True awakening involves a fundamental shift in perception. It's not just about wanting better circumstances. It's about realizing that your entire worldview may need recalibration. For example, someone experiencing temporary dissatisfaction might think, I hate my job. I should find a new one. In contrast, someone undergoing awakening might think, why am I working so hard for things that don't fulfill me? What does fulfillment even mean? The former seeks a solution within the existing framework, while the latter questions the framework itself. Another hallmark of true awakening is its persistence. C. Temporary dissatisfaction tends to fade once circumstances improve, whereas awakening-related discomfort persists until you address the root cause. Even after making external changes, quitting a job, ending a relationship, moving to a new city, the underlying unease remains unless you tackle the deeper work of aligning with your soul's purpose. Finally, awakening often brings heightened sensitivity to energy, emotions, and intuition. You may notice synchronicities, vivid dreams, or a newfound awareness of subtle energies around you. These phenomena signal that your consciousness is expanding, further distinguishing awakening from mere dissatisfaction. Stories of transformation through discomfort. Throughout history, countless individuals have undergone profound transformations by embracing discomfort as a divine nudge. Their stories serve as reminders that awakening, though challenging, leads to incredible breakthroughs. Take the story of Sarah, a high-powered attorney who had spent decades climbing the corporate ladder. On paper, her life was enviable: prestigious career, luxurious home, loving family. Yet beneath the surface, she felt increasingly hollow. Her days were filled with stress and exhaustion, leaving little room for joy or connection. One day, during a particularly grueling trial, Sarah experienced a panic attack that left her unable to continue. Though terrifying at the time, this moment marked the beginning of her awakening journey. She realized that her relentless pursuit of success had come at the expense of her well-being. Over the next few years, Sarah made radical changes, leaving her law firm, pursuing a passion for holistic healing, and rebuilding her life around authenticity and balance. Today, she credits her initial discomfort as the catalyst for finding her true calling. Then there's James, a software engineer who described his awakening as a slow unraveling. At first, he dismissed his growing dissatisfaction as midlife crisis cliches. But as his discomfort intensified, he began exploring spirituality, attending retreats, and practicing meditation. Through these experiences, James discovered a deep love for teaching mindfulness and helping others navigate their own awakenings. He now runs workshops and coaches clients worldwide, sharing the wisdom he gained through his and struggles. These stories highlight a universal truth. Discomfort is not the enemy, it's the doorway to transformation. By surrendering to the nudges of your soul, you unlock possibilities far greater than anything you could have imagined. Practical strategies for ing discomfort. Now that we've explored the nature and significance of discomfort, let's delve into practical strategies for working with it effectively. These exercises are designed to help you stay grounded and present, even amidst the turbulence of awakening. Somatic awareness exercise. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Bring your attention to any areas of tension or discomfort in your body. Breathe deeply into those spaces, imagining warmth and light flowing toward them. Allow whatever sensations arise to simply exist without judgment. After 5 to 10 minutes, reflect on how your body feels and what insights emerged. Journaling prompts. Write freely about your current discomfort using the following prompts. What specifically feels uncomfortable right now? How long has this feeling been present? What fears or beliefs underlie this discomfort? If this discomfort could speak, what would it say? Visualization for release. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a riverbank. Imagine placing your discomfort onto a leaf, floating downstream. Watch as the leaf drifts away, carrying your discomfort with it. Repeat silently. I release this discomfort. I trust that it has served its purpose. Mindful movement practice. Engage in gentle movement such as stretching or walking, barefoot in nature. As you move, focus on the sensations in your body and the rhythm of your breath. Notice how movement helps dissipate tension and restore equilibrium. Affirmations for courage. Create affirmations to support you during moments of discomfort. Examples include, I am safe to feel and grow. This discomfort is guiding me toward my highest good. I trust the unfolding of my journey. By incorporating these practices into your daily routine, you cultivate a supportive relationship with discomfort, one rooted in compassion, curiosity, and courage. Conclusion. Trusting the process. Discomfort, though challenging, is a sacred gift on the path of awakening. It invites you to question outdated beliefs, release limiting patterns, and step boldly into the unknown. By embracing discomfort as a divine nudge, you honor the wisdom of your soul and accelerate your growth. Remember, awakening is not about escaping discomfort, but learning to navigate it with grace and presence. As you lean into the whispers of your soul, trust that each step, no matter how uncertain or difficult, is leading you closer to alignment. The journey may be messy, unpredictable, and nonlinear, but it is also breathtakingly beautiful. In the next chapter, we'll explore the signs of awakening, those mysterious and magical signals from the universe that confirm you're on the right path. Until then, continue honoring the discomfort you feel. It is proof that your soul is stirring. Ling you back to yourself. 3. Signs of awakening. From dreams to synchronicity. The language of the universe. Recognizing signs along the path. As you navigate the awakening journey, one of the most profound and magical aspects is encountering signs from the universe. These signs, whether they appear in dreams, synchronicities, heightened intuition, or shifts in perception, are the language through which your soul communicates with you. They serve as confirmation that you are on the right path, even when the road feels uncertain or overwhelming. Signs of awakening act as gentle reminders that you are not alone. The universe is conspiring to support your growth. Yet, deciphering these messages requires patience, openness, and a willingness to trust your inner knowing. In this chapter, we'll explore the various forms these signs can take, their meanings, and how to cultivate a deeper relationship with them. By learning to recognize and interpret these signals, you deepen your connection to the divine flow of life and align more fully with your soul's purpose. Dreams, the gateway to your subconscious. One of the earliest and most vivid signs of awakening often manifests in dreams. As your consciousness expands, your subconscious mind becomes more active, using dreams as a canvas to process emotions, fears, desires, and insights. For many, dreams become richer, stranger, and more symbolic during awakening, a reflection of the inner work taking place. Awakening-related dreams tend to fall into several categories. 1. Prophetic dreams. These dreams feel eerily predictive, offering glimpses of future events or outcomes. While not always literal, prophetic dreams often contain metaphorical messages that guide you toward decisions or actions aligned with your highest good. 2. Healing dreams. These dreams help release old wounds, traumas, or limiting beliefs stored in the subconscious. They may involve revisiting past experiences, confronting shadow aspects of yourself, or experiencing cathartic releases. 3. Symbolic dreams. Filled with archetypal imagery, e.g., water, animals, light, symbolic dreams speak directly to your soul's journey. Interpreting these symbols requires tuning into your personal associations rather than relying solely on universal meanings. 4. Lucid dreams. During lucid dreaming, you become aware that you're dreaming and can sometimes influence the dream's direction. Lucid dreams offer a unique opportunity to explore your inner world consciously, providing clarity and insight. To deepen your relationship with your dreams, consider starting a dream journal. Keep it by your bedside and write down any fragments or impressions upon waking. Over time, patterns will emerge, revealing the themes and lessons embedded within your dreams. Reflect on questions like, what recurring symbols or scenarios appear in my dreams? Are there unresolved emotions or conflicts surfacing repeatedly? How do my dreams reflect what's happening in my waking life? By honoring your dreams as sacred messengers, you open yourself to the wisdom of your subconscious and accelerate your awakening process. Synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that guide you forward. Another hallmark of awakening is the experience of synchronicity, those uncanny moments when seemingly unrelated events align in meaningful ways. Perhaps you think of a long-lost friend only to receive a call from them moments later. Or maybe you notice repeating numbers like 1111 or 333 appearing consistently throughout your day. These synchronicities are not mere coincidences. They are deliberate messages designed to catch your attention and validate your path. Carl Jung, who coined the term synchronicity, described it as an acausal connecting principle linking inner states of consciousness with external events. In simpler terms, synchronicities occur when your thoughts, feelings, or intentions resonate with the energetic frequency of the universe, creating ripples that manifest as meaningful coincidences. During awakening, synchronicities often increase in frequency and intensity. This surge reflects your growing alignment with universal energy and your ability to perceive subtle connections that were previously invisible. However, interpreting synchronicities requires discernment. Not every coincidence carries spiritual significance, and overanalyzing can lead to confusion. Instead, approach synchronicities with curiosity and openness, asking yourself, does this event feel significant or emotionally resonant? How might it relate to my current circumstances or challenges? What message or guidance could this synchronicity be offering? For example, imagine you've been contemplating a major career change, but feel unsure about taking the leap. One morning, you wake up to find a book titled Leap of Faith sitting prominently on your shelf, a book you haven't touched in years. Later that day, a colleague mentions an opportunity that aligns perfectly with your aspirations. Together, these events form a chain of synchronicity nudging you toward action. To enhance your awareness of synchronicities, practice mindfulness and presence in everyday life. Slow down and pay attention to the details around you, the people you meet, the conversations you have, the patterns that emerge. Keep a notebook handy to record instances of synchronicity, noting how they make you feel and what actions they inspire. Over time, you'll develop a keen sense for recognizing these divine breadcrumbs guiding you forward. Heightened awareness, seeing beyond the veil. Awakening also brings a shift in perception, an increased sensitivity to energies, emotions, and subtleties that others might overlook. Suddenly, you may notice things you never paid attention to before, the way someone's tone of voice changes under stress, the energetic weight of certain environments, or the unspoken dynamics in group settings. This heightened awareness allows you to read between the lines and connect with truths beyond surface appearances. While this expanded awareness is a gift, it can also feel overwhelming, especially if you're not accustomed to filtering so much information. Empaths and highly sensitive individuals often experience this acutely, absorbing the emotions and energies of those around them. Without proper grounding practices, this influx of stimuli can lead to burnout or empath fatigue. To manage heightened awareness, prioritize self-care and energetic hygiene. Set boundaries with draining people or situations, and create rituals that replenish your energy, such as meditation, nature walks, or creative expression. Grounding exercises, like visualizing roots extending from your feet into the earth, can help anchor your awareness in the present moment. Remember, heightened awareness is not about carrying everyone else's burdens. It's about using your gifts to foster compassion, understanding, and connection. Intuitive flashes, trusting your inner guidance system. Alongside heightened awareness comes a strengthening of intuition, the gut feelings, hunches, or flashes of insight that guide you without logical explanation. Intuition operates on a soul level, bypassing the analytical mind to deliver direct downloads from your higher self. During awakening, your intuitive abilities often sharpen significantly, becoming a reliable compass for navigating uncertainty. However, distinguishing between true intuition and fear-based thoughts can be challenging. Fear tends to arise suddenly, accompanied by anxiety, doubt, or urgency. Intuition, on the other hand, feels calm, steady, and expansive, even if the message itself is uncomfortable. To strengthen your intuition, engage in regular practices that quiet the mind and attune you to your inner voice. Meditation, breath work, and journaling are excellent tools for cultivating this skill. Here's a simple exercise to test your intuition. Think of a decision you're currently facing. Close your eyes and visualize two possible outcomes. Notice how each option feels in your body. Does one option feel lighter, brighter, or more aligned? Trust those sensations. They are clues from your intuition. Energy shifts, riding the waves of transformation. As your soul awakens, you may notice fluctuations in your energy levels or emotional states. Some days, you feel vibrant and alive, radiating positivity and clarity. Other days, you feel drained, heavy, or emotionally raw. These energy shifts are normal during awakening and reflect the ebb and flow of transformation. Rather than resisting these fluctuations, embrace them as integral parts of the process. When you feel energized, channel that vitality into creative projects, movement, or acts of service. When you feel depleted, honor your need for rest and introsp. Tie-in. Practices like yoga, Reiki, or sound healing can help balance your energy field and restore equilibrium. Pay attention to how your environment impacts your energy. Certain places, people, or activities may uplift you, while others leave you feeling drained. Use this awareness to curate spaces and relationships that nourish your SPI. Real-life stories of awakening through signs. Stories of awakening through signs abound, illustrating the universality of this phenomenon. Take Maria, for instance, who had been struggling with depression and a sense of purposelessness. One evening, she stumbled upon a documentary about near-death experiences, sparking a newfound fascination with spirituality. The next morning, she found a flyer advertising a local meditation workshop pinned to her apartment door, a flyer she hadn't noticed despite walking past it multiple times. Intrigued, Maria attended the workshop, where she met a mentor who guided her onto a path of healing and self-discovery. Then there's David, whose awakening unfolded through repeated encounters with FIC numbers. After months of seeing 444 everywhere, from license plates to receipts, he researched its meaning and discovered it symbolized angelic support and protection. This realization gave him the courage to leave a toxic relationship and pursue his passion for writing. Today, he credits those synchronistic numbers with saving his life. These stories remind us that signs are not random. They are intentional invitations to awaken to our truth. By paying attention to the whispers of the universe, we step into alignment with our highest potential. Practical tools for deciphering signs. To deepen your connection with the signs of awakening, Incorporate the following practices into your daily routine. 1. Dream journaling template. Create a template with sections for date, dream description, key symbols, emotions felt, and potential interpretations. Review entries weekly to identify patterns. 2. Synchronicity tracker. Maintain a log of synchronistic events, noting dates, details, and personal reflections. Look for recurring themes or messages. 3. Meditation for intuition. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each day in silence, focusing on your breath. Ask your higher self for guidance and remain open to receiving answers. 4. Nature walk reflections. Spend time outdoors, observing the natural world. Note any observations or feelings that arise, considering how they mirror or your inner state. 5. Affirmations for alignment. Repeat affirmations like, I am open to receiving divine guidance, or asterisk, I trust the signs leading me forward. Asterisk. Conclusion. Embracing the mystery of signs. Signs of awakening are portals to greater understanding and alignment. They remind us that we are part of something vast and interconnected, a cosmic web woven with love and purpose. By learning to recognize and interpret these signs, we deepen our trust in the unfolding journey and strengthen our bond with the universe. Remember, awakening is not about seeking certainty but embracing the mystery. Allow the signs to guide you gently, trusting that they will reveal themselves in perfect timing. As you continue along this spiraling path, stay open, curious, and willing to listen to the whispers of your soul, the rhythms of nature, and the infinite wisdom of the universe. In the next chapter, we'll delve into the language of the soul, how to tune into intuition, bodily sensations, and energetic frequencies as guides on your journey. Until then, keep noticing the signs. They are proof that your soul is stirring, calling you ever closer to your true essence. For the soul's language, intuition, sensation, and frequency. Introduction. Tuning into the soul's communication channels. As your awakening deepens, you begin to realize that your soul has its own language, a rich and nuanced way of communicating through intuition, bodily sensation, and energetic frequencies. This language transcends words and logic, speaking directly to your essence and guiding you toward alignment with your true self. Learning to interpret and trust this language is essential for navigating the often unpredictable terrain of spiritual growth. In this chapter, we'll explore how intuition, physical sensations, and vibrational frequencies serve as messengers from your soul, offering insight, validation, and direction. We'll also delve into practical tools for strengthening your connection to these channels, helping you distinguish between authentic guidance and fear-based interference. By tuning into the soul's language, you step into a more embodied and empowered relationship with your awakening journey. Intuition, listening to your inner compass. At the heart of the soul's language lies intuition, the quiet yet unshakable knowing that arises from within. Unlike analytical thinking, which relies on logic and evidence, intuition operates on a soul level, delivering direct downloads of truth without explanation or justification. It's the voice that whispers, "This feels right," even when it defies reason, or warns you to pause before making a decision. During awakening, your intuitive abilities often become sharper and more reliable. However, trusting this inner compass can be challenging, especially if you've spent years prioritizing external validation over internal wisdom. Many people confuse intuition with fear, anxiety, or wishful thinking, leading them to dismiss valuable guidance. To cultivate a stronger relationship with your intuition, it's crucial to understand its characteristics and practice discernment. Hashtag characteristics of true intuition. True intuition possesses several distinct qualities. 1. Clarity. Intuitive insights feel clear and concise, even if they're brief. They don't require lengthy analysis or justification. 2. Calmness. Intuition tends to arise quietly and calmly, without urgency or panic. It may feel like a gentle nudge rather than a loud alarm. 3. Alignment. Intuitive messages resonate with your highest good, promoting peace, growth, or resolution. They never push you toward harm or disempowerment. 4. Consistency. Over time, intuitive guidance reveals patterns that align with your values, purpose, and soul's desires. Fear-based thoughts, in contrast, are typically accompanied by anxiety, doubt, or pressure to act quickly. They often stem from past conditioning or unresolved trauma, attempting to protect you from perceived threats. While fear serves an important role in survival, it should not dictate your decisions. By learning to differentiate between intuition and fear, you empower yourself to make choices rooted in authenticity rather than reaction. Hashtag practices for strengthening intuition. To deepen your connection with intuition, incorporate the following practices into your daily routine. 1. Silent reflection. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each day in silence, focusing on your breath. Ask your higher self for guidance and remain open to receiving answers. Trust whatever impressions, images, or feelings arise. 2. Body scanning. Close your eyes and bring awareness to different parts of your body. Notice where you feel tension, warmth, or ease. These sensations can provide clues about what your intuition is trying to communicate. 3. Decision-making exercises. Practice using intuition for small decisions, such as choosing what to eat or which route to take home. Reflect afterward on how those choices felt and whether they aligned with your well-being. 4. Dream journaling. As explored in Chapter 3, dreams are a powerful channel for intuitive messages. Record your dreams regularly and look for recurring symbols or themes that offer guidance. By consistently engaging with these practices, you train your mind and body to recognize and trust your inner compass. Over time, intuition becomes a steadfast ally, illuminating the path forward with unwavering clarity. Bodily sensations. The wisdom of somatic awareness. Your body is another profound medium through which your soul communicates. Every emotion, thought, and energetic shift registers as a sensation: tightness in your chest, butterflies in your stomach, warmth in your heart. These somatic cues provide immediate feedback about your state of being and the alignment or misalignment of your actions, thoughts, and environment. Awakening heightens your sensitivity to these sensations, making it easier to detect subtle shifts in your energy field. For example, you might notice a heaviness in your shoulders during stressful conversations or a lightness in your step after spending time in nature. By paying attention to these signals, you gain access to a wealth of information about your needs, boundaries, and desires. Hashtag the role of trauma responses versus authentic sensations. One challenge many face during awakening is distinguishing between trauma responses and genuine somatic messages. Trauma responses, such as freezing, numbing, or hypervigilance, are automatic reactions triggered by unresolved wounds. While they once served as protective mechanisms, they can now distort your perception and cloud your ability to discern authentic sensations. For instance, a racing heartbeat might indicate excitement and anticipation, or it could signal anxiety stemming from past experiences. Similarly, a sense of unease in certain environments might reflect energetic disharmony, or it could be a conditioned response to perceived danger. To navigate this complexity, approach your sensations with curiosity and compassion. Ask yourself, does this sensation feel expansive or constrictive? Is it tied to a specific memory or situation, or does it seem disconnected from my current reality? How does my body respond when I imagine taking action based on this sensation? Working with a therapist or healer trained in trauma-informed practices can also help untangle these layers, allowing you to reconnect with your body's innate wisdom. Hashtag somatic practices for deepening awareness. Here are some exercises to enhance your somatic awareness and strengthen your connection to your body's language. 1. Grounding visualization. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Imagine roots extending from the soles of your feet into the earth. Feel yourself anchored and supported. This visualization helps stabilize your energy and calms overwhelming sensations. 2. Emotional mapping. When you experience strong emotions, pause and scan your body. Identify where the sensation resides and describe its texture, temperature, and intensity. For example, anger might feel hot and sharp in your chest, while sadness might feel cold and heavy in your throat. 3. Movement exploration. Engage in slow, mindful movements such as yoga, tai chi, or freeform dance. Pay attention to how your body responds and what emotions or memories surface. Movement releases stored tension and fosters greater self-awareness. 4. Breath work for release. Practice deep, rhythmic breathing to release stagnant energy. Inhale slowly through your nose, expanding your belly, then exhale fully through your mouth. Visualize any discomfort or blockages leaving your body with each exhale. These practices not only deepen your understanding of your body's language, but also foster a sense of safety and trust in your physical vessel. By honoring your sensations as valid sources of information, you reclaim agency over your healing and growth. Energetic frequencies. Aligning with higher vibrations. Beyond intuition and bodily sensations, your soul communicates through energetic frequencies, the invisible vibrations that permeate all aspects of existence. Everything, people, places, objects, thoughts, emits a unique frequency, influencing how you feel and interact with the world. During awakening, your sensitivity to these frequencies increases, enabling you to perceive subtle nuances in energy fields. High-frequency energies associated with love, joy, creativity, and inspiration feel uplifting and expansive. Low-frequency energies linked to fear, anger, shame, and stagnation feel dense and constrictive. Your goal during awakening is to raise your personal vibration, creating space for higher states of consciousness and attracting experiences that align with your soul's purpose. Hashtag raising your vibration through intentional practices. Fortunately, raising your vibration is entirely within your control. By consciously engaging in activities that promote positivity and flow, you shift your energy field and magnetize opportunities for growth. Here are some effective strategies. 1. Gratitude practice. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude raises your vibration by focusing your attention on abundance rather than lack. 2. Nature immersion. Spend time outdoors, immersing yourself in the natural world. Forests, oceans, and mountains emit high-frequency energies that cleanse and recharge your aura. 3. Creative expression. Engage in activities that spark joy and creativity, such as painting, writing, singing, or gardening. Creativity amplifies your connection to source energy and boosts your mood. 4. Sound healing. Listen to binaural beats, chanting, or instrumental music designed to entrain your brainwaves to higher frequencies. Sound vibrations have a profound impact on your energetic field. 5. Acts of kindness. Perform random acts of kindness, no matter how small. Giving freely from the heart elevates both your vibration and the collective energy around you. Additionally, Surround yourself with high vibration influences, positive people, uplifting books, inspiring art, and minimize exposure to low frequency triggers like toxic relationships, negative news, or draining environments. Remember, energy is contagious. Choose wisely what you allow into your field. Hashtag navigating energetic shifts during awakening. As you raise your vibration, you may encounter energetic shifts that feel destabilizing or uncomfortable. For example, you might experience sudden bursts of energy followed by fatigue, heightened sensitivity to others' emotions, or vivid dreams and visions. These fluctuations are normal during awakening and reflect the recalibration of your energetic system. To navigate these shifts gracefully, prioritize grounding and self-care. Use grounding techniques like walking barefoot on grass, eating root vegetables, or practicing meditation to anchor your energy. Stay hydrated, nourish your body with nutrient-rich foods, and rest whenever needed. Above all, trust that these shifts are temporary and part of the larger process of aligning with your soul's frequency. Real-life stories of connecting to the soul's language. Throughout history, countless individuals have tapped into the soul's language, transforming their lives through intuition, sensation, and frequency. Consider the story of Emma, who had always struggled with self-doubt and indecision. After attending a meditation retreat, she began noticing subtle sensations in her body whenever faced with a choice. A warm glow in her heart signaled yes, while a tightness in her chest indicated no. Over time, Emma learned to trust these signals, leading her to leave a draining job and pursue her passion for photography. Today, she credits her success to listening to her body's wisdom. Then there's Alex, whose awakening unfolded through heightened sensitivity to energy. He noticed that certain locations made him feel agitated or drained, while others filled him with peace and vitality. Following his instincts, Alex relocated to a rural area surrounded by forests and streams. This change dramatically improved his mental health and rekindled his creativity. These stories highlight the transformative power of tuning into the soul's language. By embracing intuition, sensation, and frequency as guides, you unlock doors to new possibilities and deeper alignment. Conclusion: embodying the soul's language. The soul's language, intuition, sensation, and frequency, is a sacred gift available to everyone on the awakening path. By cultivating awareness and trust in these communication channels, you forge a deeper connection with your true self and the universe. Remember, this language speaks softly but persistently, inviting you to listen closely and act courageously. As you continue your journey, honor the wisdom of your inner compass, the intelligence of your body, and the vibrational field that surrounds you. These tools will guide you through challenges, illuminate hidden truths, and lead you ever closer to wholeness. In the next chapter, we'll explore the collective aspect of awakening, how others are waking alongside you, and the importance of community in navigating this transformative process. Until then, keep tuning into the soul's language. It is proof that your soul is stirring, calling you home to your deepest truth. 5. You are not alone. Others are waking too. The collective awakening, a global shift in consciousness. One of the most comforting truths about awakening is that you are not alone. While the journey may feel deeply personal and isolating at times, it is part of a much larger collective movement, a global shift in consciousness that is unfolding across humanity. This shared awakening reflects a universal yearning for connection, meaning, and truth, as more and more people begin to question the status quo and seek alignment with their authentic selves. In this chapter, we'll explore the concept of collective awakening, its implications for individual growth, and how finding community can support you during challenging phases of your journey. By recognizing that others are waking alongside you, you tap into a wellspring of strength, inspiration, and belonging that reminds you of the sacred interconnectedness of all beings. Awakening as a collective phenomenon. For centuries, spiritual traditions have spoken of a great turning or shift in ages, a time when humanity collectively moves from separation to unity, from fear to love, from illusion to truth. Today, many believe we are living through such a transition. Advances in technology, increased access to information, and growing awareness of environmental and social crises have accelerated this shift, prompting millions to awaken to deeper truths about themselves and the world. This collective awakening manifests in various ways. 1. Increased sensitivity. More people report heightened sensitivity to energy, emotions, and subtle frequencies, a hallmark of awakening. Empaths and highly sensitive individuals are no longer outliers, but representatives of a broader trend toward embodied awareness. 2. Questioning norms. Traditional systems, political, religious, economic, are being challenged as outdated paradigms crumble under the weight of their own contradictions. People are seeking alternatives rooted in sustainability, equity, and authenticity. 3. Spiritual exploration. Interest in spirituality, mysticism, and holistic healing has surged, reflecting a desire to transcend materialism and reconnect with the sacred. Practices like meditation, yoga, and energy work have gone mainstream, signaling a cultural shift toward inner exploration. N. For shared experiences. Many report encountering similar signs of awakening, vivid dreams, synchronicities, intuitive flashes, suggesting that these phenomena are not isolated but part of a unified field of consciousness. SS. While each person's awakening journey is unique, the fact that so many are experiencing parallel transformations points to a collective evolution. On. This realization can be profoundly reassuring, especially when you feel overwhelmed by the intensity of your own progress. Knowing that others are navigating similar challenges helps normalize your experience and reinforces the idea that awakening is a natural, albeit profound, phase of human development. Why community matters during awakening. During awakening, the ego often feels threatened by the dissolution of old identities and belief systems. This internal upheaval can lead to feelings of isolation, alienation, or even despair. Without supportive connections, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just go back to the way things were? Community plays a vital role in counteracting these tendencies. Connecting with others who understand what you're going through provides validation, encouragement, and perspective. It reminds you that awakening is not a solitary endeavor, but a shared journey, one that thrives on mutual support and co-creation. Here are some key benefits of finding community during awakening. 1. Validation. Sharing your experiences with like-minded individuals confirms that what you're feeling is real and meaningful. Hearing others describe similar struggles and breakthroughs helps dissolve shame or self-doubt. 2. Support. Awakening can be emotionally taxing, particularly during phases of grief, confusion, or identity loss. Having a safe space to express your fears and frustrations without judgment allows you to process them more effectively. 3. Inspiration. Witnessing others' resilience and growth inspires you to keep moving forward, even when the path feels uncertain. Stories of triumph remind you that awakening leads to profound clarity and de-empowerment. 4. Collaboration. Community fosters collaboration, enabling you to share resources, tools, and insights that accelerate your growth. Together, you create a tapestry of wisdom that enriches everyone involved. Ultimately, community reminds you that awakening is not just about personal transformation. It's also about contributing to the greater good. As you heal and evolve, you radiate higher vibrations that uplift those around you, creating a ripple effect of poesy. Tive change, building supportive connections. Finding community during awakening requires intensity on and openness. Depending on your circumstances, you may already have access to supportive networks, or you may need to actively seek them out. Here are some strategies for building connections that nurture your S. Owl's Journey. #online communities. In today's digital age, online platforms offer unparalleled opportunities to connect with others on the awakening path. Facebook groups, forums, podcasts, and virtual events bring together people from diverse backgrounds who share common interests, and experiences. Look for spaces that prioritize kindness, authenticity, and non-judgmental support. When engaging with online communities, remember to approach interactions with discernment. Not every group will resonate with your values or needs, and some may promote misinformation or spiritual bypassing. Focus on finding spaces led by experienced facilitators who emphasize grounded, practical approaches to awakening. #local meetups and workshops. If possible, attend local gatherings, workshops, or retreats focused on spirituality, personal growth, or holistic healing. These events provide opportunities to meet people face to face, fostering deeper connections than online interactions alone. Whether it's a meditation circle, a sound healing session, or a discussion group, participating in live events helps anchor your awakening in the physical realm. To find local meetups, search platforms like meetup.com, Eventbrite, or community bulletin boards. Libraries, yoga studios, and wellness centers often host relevant events as well. Don't hesitate to reach out to organizers if you're unsure where to start. They're usually happy to guide newcomers. #healers and mentors. Sometimes the best form of community comes from one-on-one relationships with trusted mentors, coaches, or healers. These individuals serve as guides, offering personalized support and accountability. As you navigate awakening, they can help you interpret signs, release blockages, and integrate new insights into your daily life. When choosing a mentor or healer, trust your intuition. Pay attention to how their presence makes you feel. Do they exude warmth, authenticity, and integrity? Do they honor your autonomy while providing gentle guidance? A strong mentorship relationship should empower you to discover your own answers rather than relying solely on external advice. #creative collaboration. Another powerful way to build community is through creative collaboration. Join forces with others to co-create projects that align with your shared values and passions. For example, you might organize a charity event, publish a zine, or start a podcast exploring themes of awakening and transformation. Collaborative efforts not only strengthen bonds, but amplify your impact on the world. Navigating challenges within the community. While the community offers immense benefits, it's important to acknowledge potential challenges as well. Miscommunication, differing perspectives, and unresolved triggers can sometimes strain relationships, particularly in groups focused on deep emotional work. To navigate these dynamics gracefully, consider the following tips. 1. Set boundaries. Clearly communicate your needs and limits within any group setting. If certain topics or behaviors feel triggering, don't hesitate to step away or address them constructively. 2. Practice compassion. Remember that everyone is on their own unique journey. What feels obvious or easy for you might still be a struggle for someone else, and vice versa. Approach differences with curiosity rather than criticism. 3. Stay grounded. Avoid getting swept up in drama or gossip. Keep your focus on your personal growth and the collective mission of supporting one another. R. 4. Seek balance. While community is valuable, it's equally important to spend time alone reflecting and integrating your experiences. Find a rhythm that honors both connection and solitude. By addressing challenges proactively, you cultivate a healthier, more harmonious environment where everyone feels seen, heard, and supper. TED. Stories of Collective Awakening. Throughout history, countless examples illustrate the power of collective awakening to drive societal change. Consider the environmental movement, which began as a grassroots effort led by passionate individuals committed to protecting the planet. Their shared vision of sustainability inspired millions to adopt eco-friendly practices, advocate for policy reforms, and demand corporate accountability. Today, this movement continues to grow, fueled by a collective awakening to the interconnectedness of all life. On a smaller scale, personal stories abound of individuals finding solace and strength in community. Take Rachel, for instance, who had been struggling with loneliness after leaving her corporate job to pursue a passion for teaching mindfulness. Feeling disconnected from her former colleagues and unsure of her next steps, she joined an online group for aspiring wellness entrepreneurs. There, she found not only camaraderie, but also practical advice and encouragement that helped her launch her business successfully. Then there's Jamal, whose awakening unfolded during a dark night of the soul. Overwhelmed by grief and confusion, he attended a men's healing circle recommended by a friend. In that space, he encountered other men grappling with similar struggles, sharing vulnerably and supporting one another unconditionally. Through these connections, Jamal rediscovered his sense of purpose and forged lifelong friendship. P.S. These stories underscore the transformative power of community, not just as a source of comfort, but as a catalyst for growth and action. When we come together in shared awakening, we amplify our capacity to create meaningful change, both individually and collectively. Practical exercises for cultivating connection. To deepen your sense of belonging and foster supportive relationships, try incorporating these exercises into your routine. 1. Reflection questions. Spend time journaling about your current connections. Ask yourself, who in my life truly understands and supports my awakening journey? Where do I feel most seen and accepted? How can I contribute to creating a nurturing community for myself and others? 2. Gratitude practice. Write down 3 people who have positively impacted your awakening journey. Reach out to thank them personally, expressing how their presence has enriched your life. 3. Intention setting. Before attending a gathering or joining a group, set an intention for what you hope to gain or offer. For example, I intend to listen deeply and speak authentically. 4. Creative expression. Use art, writing, or music to express your longing for connection. Share your creations with others to spark dialogue and forge bonds. 5. Acts of service. Offer your skills or time to support causes aligned with your values. Volunteering connects you with like-minded individuals while making a tangible difference in the world. Conclusion. Embracing the power of we. Awakening is not a solitary journey. It's a collective unfolding that invites us to remember our interconnectedness. By recognizing that others are waking alongside you, you step into a wider web of support, inspiration, and possibility. Community reminds you that you are never truly alone, even in your darkest moments. As you continue your path, lean into the power of we. Seek out connections that nourish your soul, contribute your gifts to the greater whole, and celebrate the beauty of shared awakening. Together, we rise, not as separate individuals, but as a unified force for love, truth, and transformation. In the next chapter, we'll delve into the crisis of meaning, the existential questioning that often accompanies awakening, and how embracing confusion can lead to profound clarity. Until then, cherish the knowledge that your soul is stirring, calling you home to yourself and to the collective heart of Hamani. Tai. 6. The crisis of meaning. Why confusion is sacred. The awakening of existential questions. As your soul stirs and you begin to awaken, one of the most profound and often unsettling phases you may encounter is what I call the crisis of meaning. This stage is marked by deep existential questioning. Wanting, who am I? What is my purpose? Why does any of this matter? These questions can feel overwhelming, even paralyzing, as they challenge the very foundation of your identity and worldview. While society often dismisses confusion as a problem to be solved, in the context of awakening, it is anything but. Confusion during this phase is sacred. It's a necessary unraveling that clears space for new truths to emerge. It signals that you are shedding outdated beliefs, paradigms, and constructs that no longer serve your Ralph. Though it may feel chaotic or disorienting, the crisis of meaning is an invitation to dive deeper into the essence of who you truly are. In this chapter, we'll explore why the crisis of meaning arises, how to navigate its turbulence with grace, and why embracing confusion is key to discovering profound clarity. By reframing this phase as a sacred opportunity rather than a failure, you reclaim your power and deepen your alignment with your soul's purpose. Why does the crisis of meaning arise? To understand the roots of the crisis of meaning, we must first examine the nature of conditioning, the societal programming that shapes our early lives. From childhood, we absorb messages about success, relationships, morality, and happiness, often without questioning their validity. Over time, these external expectations become internalized, forming the framework through which we interpret ourselves and the world. Awakening disrupts this conditioned framework. As your consciousness expands, you begin to see cracks in the narratives you've built your life upon. You realize that many of the goals you once pursued, wealth, status, approval, are hollow when stripped of their societal veneer. Without these familiar anchors, you're left grappling with uncertainty and a pervasive sense of emptiness. This loss of meaning isn't a flaw. It's a sign that your soul is ready to transcend superficial pursuits and seek something deeper. The crisis of meaning forces you to confront the ultimate questions of existence, stripping away distractions so you can focus on what truly matters. It's a painful yet liberating process, one that dismantles the ego's constructs and opens the door to authentic self-discovery. The role of disillusionment. A critical aspect of the crisis of meaning is disillusionment, the realization that much of what you believed was an illusion. This disillusionment can take many forms. 1. Relationships. You may question whether your connections are based on genuine love or obligation. Friendships and partnerships that once felt fulfilling might suddenly seem shallow or transactional. 2. Career. Your professional achievements may lose their luster as you recognize the disparity between external success and inner fulfillment. 3. Belief systems, religious, cultural, or philosophical frameworks that once provided comfort may now feel restrictive or incomplete. 4. Identity, labels like mother, entrepreneur, or spiritual seeker may no longer fully encapsulate who you are. Disillusionment can feel devastating, but it serves an essential function. It clears away false idols, making room for higher truths to emerge. By letting go of illusions, you create space for authenticity to flourish. Navigating the turbulence of confusion. The crisis of meaning is inherently turbulent. It challenges everything you thought you knew, leaving you adrift in a sea of uncertainty. However, navigating this phase with intention and presence transforms confusion from a source of suffering into a catalyst for growth. Here are some strategies to help you move through the chaos with GR. ACE. 1. Surrender to not knowing. One of the hardest parts of the crisis of meaning is the pressure to find answers immediately. Society conditions us to equate knowledge with security, so not knowing can feel terrifying. But awakening teaches us that true wisdom often emerges from surrender, not control. Instead of forcing solutions, allow yourself to sit with the discomfort of uncertainty. Practice affirmations like, asterisk, I trust that clarity will come in perfect timing. Asterisk, I am safe in the unknown. Asterisk, confusion is guiding me toward deeper understanding. Asterisk, surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing attachment to outcomes and trusting the unfolding process. 2. Cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness practices anchor you in the present moment, reducing anxiety about the future and regret over the past. When confusion feels overwhelming, return to your breath. Focus on the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. Ground yourself in simple actions like walking, eating, or washing dishes. Mindfulness reminds you that while thoughts and emotions may swirl, you are fundamentally okay in this moment. This grounding helps prevent confusion from spiraling to despair. 3. Journal through uncertainty. Writing is a powerful tool for processing existential questions. Use journaling prompts to explore your thoughts and feelings. What aspects of my life feel meaningless right now? If I had no fear of judgment, what would I want my life to look like? What values or passions have been neglected in pursuit of external validation? Don't worry about finding answers right away. Simply putting pen to paper helps untangle the web of confusion and brings hidden insights to light. 4. Seek inspiration without comparison. During the crisis of meaning, it's natural to turn to others for guidance, books, teachers, mentors, or peers who inspire you. While inspiration can be invaluable, beware of falling into comparison traps. Remember, everyone's journey is unique. What resonates for someone else might not align with your path. Instead of trying to replicate another's experience, use their stories as fuel for your own exploration. Ask yourself, how does this person's journey reflect universal truths? What lessons can I apply? Why to my own situation? Where does my intuition and guide me differently? By staying rooted in your truth, you avoid losing yourself in someone else's narrative. 5. Embrace creative expression. Art, music, dance, writing, and other forms of creative expression provide outlets for processing complex emotions. Creativity bypasses the analytical mind, allowing your soul to communicate directly. Even if you don't consider yourself artistic, engaging in creative activities can unlock unexpected insights. For example, painting abstractly might reveal colors or shapes that symbolize your current state of being. Writing poetry could distill overwhelming emotions into concise, evocative phrases. Allow creativity to flow freely without judgment. It's less about the product and more about the process. Reframing confusion as sacred. To fully embrace the crisis of meaning, it's essential to reframe confusion as sacred, a divine nudge toward reader alignment. Here's why. 1. Confusion breaks patterns. The discomfort of confusion disrupts habitual ways of thinking and behaving, creating openings for transformation. Confusion. Growth stagnates. 2. Confusion sparks curiosity. Instead of clinging to old certainties, confusion invites you to ask deeper questions and explore unfamiliar territory. It awakens your inner explorer. 3. Confusion leads to clarity. Paradoxically, leaning into confusion often accelerates the arrival of clarity. By releasing resistance and trusting the process, you allow wares to surface organically. Think of confusion as fertile soil. The messier it gets, the richer the potential for growth. Just as a garden requires tilling before planting, your psyche needs upheava. Before breakthroughs can occur. Real-life stories of navigating the crisis of meaning. Stories of individuals navigating the crisis of meaning illustrate both its challenges and rewards. Consider the story of Priya, a successful marketing executive who hit a wall in her mid-30s. Despite achieving all the markers of success, a high salary, a luxury apartment, and an active social life, Priya felt an unshakable void inside. She began questioning everything: her career, her friendships, even her marriage. For months, she oscillated between despair and determination, unsure of how to rebuild her life. Through journaling, therapy, and meditation, Priya slowly uncovered her passion for environmental activism. Though it meant leaving behind financial stability and societal approval, she transitioned to working for a nonprofit focused on climate justice. Today, she describes this period as the most challenging yet rewarding chapter of her life. The crisis of meaning forced me to face what truly mattered, she says. It wasn't easy, but it led me home to myself. Then there's Marcus, whose awakening unfolded after a near-death experience. Confronted with mortality, he began questioning the purpose of his existence. A devout believer in traditional religion, Marcus initially struggled with doubts about his faith. Over time, however, he discovered a personal spirituality rooted in compassion, service, and connection. His crisis of meaning became a gateway to profound peace and purpose. These stories remind us that the crisis of meaning, though daunting, is ultimately a gift. By embracing confusion, we step closer to living authentically and aligned with our soul's calling. Practical tools for working with confusion. To navigate the crisis of meaning effectively, incorporate these tools into your daily practice. 1. Grounding visualization. Close your eyes and imagine roots extending from your feet into the earth. Feel yourself anchored and supported. Repeat silently. Asterisk, I am grounded in the present moment. Asterisk. 2. Daily reflection prompts. Each evening, write responses to questions like, what did I learn today about myself or the world? Where did I resist confusion? And where did I lean into it? What small action can I take tomorrow to honor my truth? 3. Breath work for release. Practice alternate nostril breathing to calm anxious thoughts. Inhale deeply through one nostril, then exhale through the other. Switch sides and repeat. Visualize tension dissolving with each exhale. 4. Vision board creation. Gather images, words, and symbols that resonate with your emerging values and aspirations. Arrange them on a board as a visual representation of your evolving vision. 5. Gratitude practice. Even amidst confusion, find moments of gratitude. Write down 3 things you appreciate each day, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Conclusion: trusting the unfolding. The crisis of meaning is a pivotal stage in the awakening journey, one that tests your courage, patience, and resilience. Yet within its turbulence lies immense potential for growth and transformation. By embracing confusion as sacred, you open yourself to profound clarity and alignment with your soul's purpose. Remember, you are not alone in this process. Countless others have walked this path before you, emerging stronger, wiser, and more deeply connected to their truth. Lean into the discomfort, trust the unfolding, and know that every question carries the seed of its answer. In the next chapter, we'll explore the resistance of the ego, the fear and panic that arise as your identity undergoes radical transformation. Until then, continue honoring the stirrings of your soul. They are proof that you are awakening, shedding layers of illusion to reveal the radiant essence beneath. 7. Ego panic and resistance. Normalizing fear of expansion. The nature of ego panic in awakening. As your soul begins to stir and you navigate the spiraling journey of awakening, one of the most challenging phases you'll encounter is what I call ego panic. This stage arises when the ego, the part of you that seeks control, safety, and identity, feels threatened by the expansive nature of spiritual growth. The ego's resistance can manifest as fear, doubt, self-sabotage, or even outright rebellion against the changes unfolding within you. Ego panic is a natural response to the destabilization caused by awakening. For years, perhaps decades, the ego has served as your primary sense of self, helping you navigate the world through roles, labels, and narratives. When awakening challenges these constructs, the ego perceives it as an existential threat. It panics, clinging desperately to familiar patterns and identities in an attempt to maintain control. Yet, while ego panic can feel overwhelming, it's important to remember that this resistance is not your enemy. It's simply a part of the process. By understanding the mechanisms of ego panic and learning how to soothe its fears, you create space for deeper alignment with your soul. In this chapter, we'll explore why ego panic occurs, how to identify its tactics, and practical tools for moving through this phase with compassion and courage. Why does ego panic arise? To understand ego panic, we must first examine the role of the ego in human experience. The ego is not inherently bad or something to be eradicated. It serves a vital function in our lives. It helps us make decisions, set boundaries, and interact with the external world. Without the ego, we would lack structure and coherence in our day-to-day existence. However, during awakening, the limitations of the ego become apparent. Its reliance on control, comparison, and attachment creates barriers to expansion. As your consciousness expands beyond the confines of conditioned thinking, the ego struggles to adapt. It clings to old paradigms because they feel safe, even if those paradigms no longer serve your highest good. Ego panic typically arises during significant shifts in identity or worldview. For example, loss of certainty. When long-held beliefs about yourself or the world crumble, the ego feels unmoored. Fear of change. Awakening often requires letting go of relationships, careers, or habits that once defined you. The ego resists these losses, fearing instability. Expanded awareness. Heightened sensitivity to energy, emotions, and intuition can overwhelm the ego, which thrives on predictability. While ego panic may feel like a betrayal, a part of you actively working against your growth, it's actually a misguided attempt at protection. Recognizing this allows you to approach ego panic with empathy rather than judgment. Identifying the tactics of resistance. Ego panic employs several tactics to resist expansion. Understanding these strategies helps you recognize when the ego is influencing your thoughts and behaviors. Here are some common manifestations of ego resistance. 1. Doubt and self-criticism. The ego uses doubt to undermine your confidence and discourage risk-taking. You may find yourself questioning whether awakening is real, dismissing synchronicities as coincidence, or criticizing your progress. Thoughts like, "Am I just imagining this?" or "Who do I think I am to pursue this path?" reflect the ego's attempt to keep you small. 2. Fear of judgment. Awakening often leads to shifts in values and priorities that diverge from societal norms. The ego amplifies fears of rejection or ridicule, convincing you to conform rather than embrace authenticity. You might hesitate to share your experiences or downplay your insights to avoid standing out. 3. Attachment to comfort zones. The ego equates familiarity with safety, even if comfort zones are stifling your growth. It resists change by highlighting potential risks or exaggerating the difficulty of stepping into the unknown. Phrases like, "What if I fail?" or "This is too hard," signal the ego's desire to stay put. 4. Comparison and competition. During awakening, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your journey to others. The ego uses comparison to fuel feelings of inadequacy or superiority, both of which distract from your unique path. Whether you feel behind or ahead, neither perspective serves your growth. 5. Sabotage and procrastination. When faced with opportunities for growth, the ego may sabotage your efforts through procrastination, distraction, or self-sabotaging behaviors. These actions delay progress and reinforce the illusion of safety. By identifying these tactics, you gain clarity about when the ego is driving your decisions versus when your soul is guiding you. Awareness is the first step toward reclaiming agency over your awakening journey. Normalizing fear of expansion. One of the most empowering shifts you can make during this phase is normalizing fear. Instead of viewing fear as a sign of weakness or failure, see it as proof that you're expanding beyond your perceived limits. Fear doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you're doing something big. Here's why fear is a natural part of expansion. Growth requires risk. Stepping into the unknown always involves uncertainty. Fear signals that you're leaving your comfort zone, which is necessary for growth. Identity shifts are disorienting. Letting go of old identities, even unhealthy ones, creates temporary instability. Fear reflects the ego's struggle to adapt. Higher frequencies feel unfamiliar. As your vibration rises, you may feel raw, exposed, or overly sensitive. Fear is the ego's reaction to unfamiliar sensations. Rather than suppressing fear, lean into it with curiosity. Ask yourself, what specifically am I afraid of? How does this fear serve me or limit me? What would I do if I weren't afraid? By reframing fear as a companion rather than an obstacle, you transform it into fuel for your journey. Strategies for soothing ego panic. Navigating ego panic requires patience, self-compassion, and practical tools. Below are strategies to help you soothe the ego's fears and move forward with greater ease. 1. Dialogue with your ego. Instead of battling the ego, engage it in conversation. Imagine sitting down with your ego and asking, "What are you afraid will happen? How can I reassure you that we'll still be okay? What do you need to feel safe right now?" Treating the ego as a scared child fosters understanding and reduces resistance. Reassure it that while things are changing, you'll honor its needs alongside your soul's desires. 2. Ground yourself in presence. When ego panic strikes, anchor yourself in the present moment. Practices like mindful breathing, grounding visualizations, or physical movement help calm anxious thoughts and reconnect you with your body. Repeat affirmations such as, "I am safe here and now." Change is a natural part of life. "I trust myself to handle whatever comes next." Presence reminds you that fear exists only in the mind's projections. It cannot harm you in this moment. 3. Reframe challenges as opportunities. Instead of seeing fear as a barrier, view it as a teacher. Each challenge carries lessons that deepen your resilience and wisdom. For example, fear of failure teaches perseverance. Fear of judgment fosters self-trust. Celebrate your willingness to face fear as evidence of your courage. 4. Focus on incremental progress. Big leaps can overwhelm the ego, so break your goals into smaller, manageable steps. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how minor, to build momentum and confidence. For instance, instead of committing to a complete career overhaul, start by exploring new interests or networking with like-minded individuals. 5. Cultivate self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself during this phase. Awakenings are messy and nonlinear, and setbacks are inevitable. Practice self-compassion by speaking kindly to yourself and acknowledging your efforts. Journal prompts like, "What would I say to a friend going through this?" can guide compassionate reflection. 6. Lean on community. Connecting with others who understand your journey provides invaluable support. Share your struggles openly, knowing you're not alone. Hearing stories of triumph over ego resistance inspires hope and reminds you that fear is temporary. Real-life stories of overcoming ego panic. Countless individuals have faced ego panic during their awakening journeys, emerging stronger and more aligned with their truth. Consider the story of Liam, a software engineer who felt drawn to leave his corporate job and pursue a passion for environmental advocacy. Despite his excitement, Liam was plagued by fear. What if I can't support my family? What if people think I'm crazy? His ego painted vivid pictures of failure, keeping him stuck in indecision. Through therapy and journaling, Liam began dialoguing with his ego, addressing its concerns directly. He created a financial plan to ease the transition and reminded himself of his deeper purpose. Though the process took time, Liam eventually made the leap and discovered a profound sense of fulfillment he'd never experienced before. Then there's Sophia, whose awakening led to intense anxiety and hypervigilance. Her ego resisted the heightened sensitivity she developed, interpreting it as a flaw. Through meditation and somatic practices, Sophia learned to ground herself and reframe her sensitivity as a gift rather than a burden. She now uses her heightened awareness to support others as a healer and mentor. These stories highlight the universality of ego panic and the transformative power of facing it head-on. By normalizing fear and embracing the discomfort of expansion, you unlock doors to unprecedented freedom and authenticity. These beliefs may have helped you survive challenging circumstances, but they now hinder your growth. To uncover them, ask yourself, what recurring thoughts or fears arise when I pursue change? How do I talk to myself during difficult moments? What rules or expectations do I impose on myself unnecessarily? Journaling, therapy, and reflective practices are powerful tools for surfacing limiting beliefs. Once identified, you can begin the work of dismantling them. Practices for dismantling conditioning. Unlearning conditioning requires intention, patience, and compassion. Below are strategies to help you release outdated paradigms and reconnect with your authentic self. 1. Question everything. Adopt a mindset of curiosity and skepticism. Challenge the assumptions you've taken for granted by asking, who taught me this belief and why? Does this belief still resonate with who I am today? What would my life look like without this belief? For instance, if you believe money equals happiness, examine its origins. Was it instilled by society, family, or personal experience? How does it impact your decisions? Questioning opens the door to new possibilities. 2. Shadow work. Shadow work involves exploring the parts of yourself you've suppressed or denied, often due to shame, fear, or judgment. These shadow aspects contain valuable insights about your conditioning and offer opportunities for healing. Practices like journaling, dream analysis, or working with a therapist can illuminate hidden wounds. For example, if you struggle with self-worth, trace the origins of this belief. Did someone criticize you harshly as a child? Acknowledging these roots reduces their grip on your psyche. 3. Reparenting yourself. Many of our deepest wounds stem from unmet needs in childhood. Reparenting involves nurturing yourself with the love, care, and support you may have lacked. Speak kindly to yourself, set healthy boundaries, and celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Treat yourself as you would a beloved child. 4. Rewriting narratives. Once you've identified limiting beliefs, rewrite them into empowering affirmations. For example, old belief, asterisk, I'll never be successful, asterisk, new affirmation, asterisk, I am capable of creating success in alignment with my values, asterisk. Repeat these affirmations daily to reprogram your subconscious mind. Visualization techniques can amplify their impact. Imagine living the reality described in your affirmations. 5. Embrace playfulness. Conditioning thrives on seriousness and rigidity. Counteract this by embracing playfulness and experimentation. Try new hobbies, explore unconventional paths, and approach challenges with lighthearted curiosity. Play disrupts linear thinking and fosters creativity. Healing generational wounds. Much of our conditioning is intergenerational, passed down through family lines. Patterns of fear, scarcity, or control often originate with ancestors and persist unconsciously across generations. Healing these wounds requires acknowledging their existence and releasing their hold on your present life. Family constellations, ancestral healing rituals, and forgiveness practices can facilitate this process. Visualize sending love and gratitude to those who came before you, even as you let go of inherited burdens. Understand that breaking generational cycles benefits not only you, but also future generations. Stories of unlearning and transformation. Real-life examples illustrate the transformative power of unlearning conditioning. Consider Maya, whose upbringing emphasized academic achievement above all else. She excelled in school, earning degrees and accolades, yet felt empty inside. During her awakening journey, Maya began questioning the narrative that equated worth with performance. Through therapy and journaling, she uncovered a deep longing for creative expression. Today, she balances her career with painting, finding joy and fulfillment in activities once dismissed as impractical. Then there's Carlos, whose family valued stoicism and discouraged vulnerability. Growing up, he learned to suppress emotions, believing they were signs of weakness. Awakening forced him to confront this conditioning, leading to intense grief and anger. Through shadow work and somatic practices, Carlos reclaimed his emotional landscape, discovering strength in vulnerability. He now mentors others navigating similar struggles, sharing tools for healing generational wounds. These stories highlight the universality of conditioning and the liberating potential of unlearning. By shedding outdated paradigms, you create space for authenticity and empowerment. Practical exercises for unlearning conditioning. Incorporate these exercises into your daily routine to deepen your unlearning practice. 1. Daily reflection prompts. Spend 10 minutes each day answering questions like, what limiting belief did I notice today? How did it influence my actions or emotions? What action could I take tomorrow to challenge this belief? 2. Mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror and speak affirmations aloud. Look into your eyes and say, asterisk, I am worthy exactly as I am. Asterisk, asterisk, I release what no longer serves me. Asterisk, asterisk, I trust my journey. Asterisk. 3. Visualization for release. Close your eyes and imagine placing old beliefs onto leaves floating downstream. Watch as they drift away, carrying conditioning with them. Repeat silently. Asterisk, I release this belief. I embrace freedom. Asterisk. For gratitude for growth, reflect on areas where you've successfully unlearned conditioning. Write down moments of courage and celebrate your progress. Gratitude reinforces positive change. 5. Creative expression. Use art, music, or writing to channel conditioned patterns into creation. For instance, write a letter to your younger self offering reassurance and guidance. Creativity transforms inner turmoil into tangible insight. Practical exercises for unlearning conditioning. Incorporate these exercises into your daily routine to deepen your unlearning practice. 1. Daily reflection prompts. Spend 10 minutes each day answering questions like, what limiting belief did I notice today? How did it influence my actions or emotions? What action could I take tomorrow to challenge this belief? 2. Mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror and speak affirmations aloud. Look into your eyes and say, asterisk, I am worthy exactly as I am. Asterisk, asterisk, I release what no longer serves me. Asterisk, asterisk, I trust my journey. Asterisk. 3. Visualization for release. Close your eyes and imagine placing old beliefs onto leaves floating downstream. Watch as they drift away, carrying conditioning with them. Repeat silently. Asterisk, I release this belief. I embrace freedom. Asterisk. For gratitude for growth, reflect on areas where you've successfully unlearned conditioning. Write down moments of courage and celebrate your progress. Gratitude reinforces positive change. 5. Creative expression. Use art, music, or writing to channel conditioned patterns into creation. For instance, write a letter to your younger self offering reassurance and guidance. Creativity transforms inner turmoil into tangible insight. 9. Trusting the call, answering despite the unknown. The sacred invitation of awakening. At some point in your awakening journey, you'll reach a pivotal moment, a threshold where the whispers of your soul grow louder, more insistent. This is the call, an undeniable urging to step forward into the unknown despite uncertainty and fear. It's not always comfortable or clear. In fact, it often feels risky, even reckless. Yet, trusting this call is essential for moving deeper into alignment with your true self. Trusting the call doesn't mean having all the answers. It means choosing faith over fear, curiosity over control, and action over stagnation. In this chapter, we'll explore why answering the call is so transformative, how to cultivate trust in yourself and the universe, and practical tools for taking courageous steps forward. By embracing the sacred invitation of awakening, you reclaim your agency and step closer to embodying your highest potential. Why does the call arise? The call arises when your soul has stirred enough to disrupt your current reality. It signals that you're ready or being asked to expand beyond familiar boundaries. Whether it manifests as a persistent longing, an opportunity knocking at your door, or a deep inner knowing, the call represents your soul's yearning to express itself fully. This phase often follows periods of introspection, discomfort, and unlearning. After shedding layers of conditioning and confronting fears, you begin to glimpse possibilities that once seemed impossible. The call invites you to act on these insights, bridging the gap between vision and manifestation. However, answering the call requires courage because it demands leaving behind what's known and safe. For many, this leap feels terrifying. What if you fail? What if others judge you? What if you lose everything? These doubts reflect the ego's resistance, but also underscore the depth of transformation awaiting you. What does it mean to trust the call? Trusting the call isn't about blind faith. It's about aligning with your inner truth and allowing it to guide your decisions. It involves listening deeply to your intuition, honoring your values, and taking incremental steps toward your dreams. Trusting the call means believing that you are supported, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise, and that every challenge carries lessons designed to propel you forward. Here's why trusting the call is crucial for awakening. 1. Action anchors alignment. Awakening isn't just about insight, it's about integration. Taking action solidifies your commitment to growth and anchors new beliefs into your lived experience. 2. Courage builds confidence. Each time you answer the call, you strengthen your resilience and self-trust. Courage becomes a habit, making future leaps easier. 3. Flow follows faith. When you trust the process, synchronicities multiply, resources appear, and doors open unexpectedly. Faith creates space for miracles. Navigating fear of the unknown. One of the biggest obstacles to answering the call is fear of the unknown. The mind craves certainty, yet awakening thrives on ambiguity. To move through this fear, it's important to reframe the unknown not as a threat, but as an adventure, a sacred unfolding of infinite possibility. Below are strategies to help you navigate fear and deepen your trust in the call. Reframe failure as feedback. Fear of failure often paralyzes us, keeping us stuck in safety zones. Instead of viewing failure as catastrophic, see it as feedback, a teacher offering valuable lessons. Every misstep brings clarity and refines your path. Ask yourself, what would I attempt if I weren't afraid of failing? How could failure serve my growth? By shifting your perspective, you diminish fear's grip and empower yourself to take bold action. 2. Break down big leaps into small steps. Big visions can feel overwhelming, especially when the path ahead is unclear. Overcome this by breaking down your goals into manageable steps. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how minor, to build momentum and confidence. For example, if your dream is to write a book, start by committing to writing 1 page daily. If you want to change careers, begin by researching fields that excite you. Small actions compound over time, creating significant shifts. 3. Visualize success. Visualization activates the law of attraction, helping you magnetize desired outcomes. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each day imagining yourself succeeding in your endeavors. Engage all 5 senses. What does success look, sound, smell, taste, and feel like? Visualization primes your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities and take inspired action. 4. Lean on intuition. Your intuition is your direct line to divine guidance. When faced with decisions, quiet why, our mind, and tune into your gut feelings. Does a choice resonate with peace and excitement, or trigger anxiety and doubt? Trust these sensations as markers of alignment. 5. Practice radical self-trust. Self-trust is foundational for answering the call. Cultivate it by reflecting on past successes and moments of courage. Remind yourself that you've navigated challenges before and emerged stronger. Journal prompts like asterisk, when have I trusted myself and succeeded? Asterisk reinforce belief in your abilities. Stories of trusting the call. Countless individuals have answered the call despite fear, emerging transformed and empowered. Consider the story of Elena, who felt a persistent pull to leave her corporate job and pursue a passion for holistic healing. Despite financial stability and societal approval, she couldn't ignore the whisper urging her to follow her heart. Through meditation and journaling, Elena clarified her purpose and took small steps toward her goal, enrolling in courses, networking with practitioners, and building a client base. Today, she runs a thriving wellness practice, crediting her success to trusting the call. Then there's Daniel, whose awakening led him to question his role in society. A lifelong academic, he dreamed of traveling the world and documenting cultural stories. Fear of judgment and instability kept him rooted until a health scare forced him to confront mortality. Realizing life was too short to delay his dreams, Daniel sold his possessions, bought a camera, and embarked on a global journey. His photographs now inspire thousands, reminding viewers of humanity's interconnectedness. These stories highlight the transformative power of trusting the call. By leaning into courage, individuals discover their true potential and create lives aligned with their soul's desires. Practical tools for answering the call. To integrate these strategies into your daily life, try incorporating the following exercises. 1. Affirmation practice. Write down 3 affirmations that support trust and courage. Examples include: asterisk, I am divinely guided and supported. Asterisk, asterisk, every step I take leads me closer to my purpose. Asterisk, asterisk, I release fear and embrace infinite possibility. Asterisk, repeat them daily to reinforce positive beliefs. 2. Daily reflection prompts. Spend 10 minutes each evening answering questions like, what did I do today to honor my call? Where did fear arise and how did I respond? What action can I take tomorrow to move forward? 3. Vision board creation. Gather images, words, and symbols that represent your dreams and aspirations. Arrange them on a board as a visual reminder of your intentions. Display it prominently to stay inspired. For gratitude for support, reflect on instances where the universe supported you during challenging times. Write down moments of grace and celebrate their presence. Gratitude strengthens your connection to divine flow. 5. Creative expression. Use art, music, or writing to channel fear into creation. For instance, compose a poem about your fears, then rewrite it as a declaration of trust. Creativity transforms inner turmoil into tangible insight. Conclusion: stepping forward with faith. Answering the call is a sacred act of trust, one that bridges the seen and unseen, the known and unknown. While fear may accompany the journey, it serves as proof that you're expanding beyond perceived limits. By cultivating faith in yourself and the universe, you unlock doors to unprecedented freedom and fulfillment. As you continue your path, honor the stirrings of your soul. They are proof that you are awakening, shedding layers of illusion to embrace the infinite possibilities within. Trust that every step, even the most uncertain ones, leads you home to yourself. In the next chapter, we'll explore the art of surrender, how letting go creates space for miracles and guides you toward profound transformation. Until then, lean into the call, knowing it is guiding you toward wholeness. 10. Surrendering to the process, awakening through letting go. The art of surrender in awakening. Surrender is one of the most misunderstood, yet transformative aspects of spiritual awakening. Often conflated with passivity or resignation, surrender is actually an active, conscious choice, a deliberate release of control that creates space for divine guidance and higher wisdom to flow through you. It's not about giving up. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you so that something greater can emerge. In this chapter, we'll explore why surrender is essential for awakening, how to distinguish between passive resignation and active surrender, and practical tools for releasing attachment to outcomes. By embracing surrender as a sacred act, you deepen your alignment with the unfolding process and step closer to embodying your soul's truth. Why surrender is essential for awakening. Awakening is inherently unpredictable, a spiral of remembering, releasing, and returning to your essence. Along the way, you encounter moments of clarity, confusion, resistance, and breakthrough. While effort and intention are crucial, there comes a point where striving becomes counterproductive. This is where surrender enters the picture. Surrender allows you to transcend the limitations of the ego, which clings to control, certainty, and identity. When you let go of these attachments, you open yourself to infinite possibilities beyond your imagination. Surrender doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or action. It means trusting that the universe has your back, even when the path feels unclear. Here's why surrender is pivotal for awakening. 1. Flow over force. Life flows effortlessly when you align with its natural rhythm. Surrender invites you to stop pushing against the current and instead allow grace to guide your journey. 2. Release of resistance. Resistance, whether to change, uncertainty, or discomfort, creates tension and stagnation. Surrender dissolves resistance, freeing energy for growth and transformation. 3. Integration of paradox. Awakening often involves holding opposites simultaneously: light and shadow, grief and joy, chaos and stillness. Surrender helps you embrace paradox without needing resolution. Distinguishing between passive resignation and active surrender. A common misconception is that surrender equals passivity, that it means doing nothing and waiting for life to happen to you. In reality, surrender is a dynamic practice requiring awareness, discernment, and courage. Here's how to differentiate between passive resignation and active surrender. Passive resignation. Characteristics: apathy, helplessness, avoidance of responsibility. Mindset: I give up because nothing I do matters. Outcome: stagnation, disempowerment, missed opportunities for growth. Active surrender. Characteristics: intentionality, presence, trust in divine timing. Mindset: I release my need to control and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Outcome: flow, empowerment, alignment with soul-level purpose. Active surrender involves making conscious choices to let go of what no longer serves you while remaining engaged in the present moment. It's about relinquishing attachment to specific outcomes while continuing to take inspired action. How to practice surrender. Surrender is both an art and a skill, one that requires practice and patience. Below are strategies to help you cultivate surrender as a way of being. 1. Release attachment to outcomes. One of the biggest challenges in surrendering is detaching from expectations. The mind craves certainty, yet awakening thrives on ambiguity. To release attachment, remind yourself that outcomes are beyond your control. Instead, focus on showing up authentically and trusting the process. For example, if you're pursuing a creative project, commit to creating from love rather than seeking validation or success. Visualize handing over the results to the universe, saying, "Asterisk, I've done my part. Now I trust it will unfold as it's meant to." Asterisk. 2. Embrace uncertainty. Uncertainty is fertile ground for surrender. Rather than fearing the unknown, lean into it with curiosity and openness. Practice affirmations like, asterisk, I am safe in the unknown. Asterisk, asterisk, every moment holds infinite potential. Asterisk, asterisk, I trust the unfolding of my journey. Asterisk, breath work and meditation can also anchor you in the present moment, reducing anxiety about the future. 3. Let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism stems from a desire to control every detail, ensuring things turn out right. However, awakening teaches us that perfection is an illusion. Mistakes and imperfections are integral parts of the process. They reveal hidden strengths and offer opportunities for growth. To release perfectionism, celebrate progress over perfection. Journal prompts like asterisk, what did I learn from my failures? Asterisk, shift your perspective and reinforce self-compassion. 4. Honor your feelings without identifying with them. Emotions are powerful teachers, but they don't define you. During surrender, it's important to acknowledge feelings without attaching to them. For instance, if fear arises, greet it with compassion. Asterisk, thank you for protecting me, but I'm safe to move forward. Asterisk, practices like mindfulness, somatic awareness, and journaling help you process emotions without being consumed by them. 5. Trust divine timing. Divine timing operates on a different schedule than human urgency. Trust that everything arrives exactly when it's meant to, not a moment sooner or later. Repeat affirmations like, asterisk, everything happens in perfect timing. Asterisk, asterisk, I release the need to rush or force. Asterisk, asterisk, I trust the universe to orchestrate miracles. Asterisk, by aligning with divine timing, you reduce stress and create space for synchronicities to unfold. Stories of surrender and transformation. Real-life examples illustrate the profound impact of surrender on the awakening journey. Consider the story of Ava, who spent years trying to manifest her dream job through sheer willpower. Despite her efforts, opportunities eluded her, leaving her frustrated and exhausted. One day, during a meditation session, she heard a gentle whisper, asterisk, let go. Asterisk, though skeptical, Ava decided to experiment with surrender. She stopped obsessing over timelines and outcomes, focusing instead on enjoying the process of learning and growing. Within weeks, an unexpected opportunity arose, a role perfectly aligned with her passions and values. Today, she credits her success to releasing attachment and trusting divine timing. Then there's Marcus, whose awakening led him to question his relationship with money. Raised in poverty, he associated financial abundance with greed and selfishness. As his consciousness expanded, he realized these beliefs were limiting his potential. Through surrender practices like visualization and gratitude, Marcus released old paradigms and embraced a mindset of abundance. Money began flowing into his life effortlessly, not as a result of chasing it, but as a byproduct of living authentically. These stories highlight the transformative power of surrender. By letting go of control, individuals discover freedom, flow, and fulfillment. Practical tools for cultivating surrender. To integrate these strategies into your daily life, try incorporating the following exercises. 1. Affirmation practice. Write down 3 affirmations that support surrender. Examples include, asterisk, I release what I cannot control. Asterisk, asterisk, I trust the wisdom of the universe. Asterisk, asterisk, surrender brings peace and clarity. Asterisk, repeat them daily to reinforce positive beliefs. 2. Daily reflection prompts. Spend 10 minutes each evening answering questions like, what did I surrender today? Where did resistance arise, and how did I respond? What can I let go of tomorrow to create space for miracles? 3. Visualization for release. Close your eyes and imagine placing worries, fears, or expectations onto leaves floating downstream. Watch as they drift away, carrying burdens with them. Repeat silently. Asterisk, I release this to the universe. I trust it will handle it. Asterisk. For gratitude for grace, reflect on instances where life unfolded unexpectedly in your favor. Write down moments of serendipity and celebrate their presence. Gratitude strengthens your connection to divine flow. 5. Creative expression. Use art, music, or writing to channel resistance into creation. For instance, paint an image representing fear, then transform it into a symbol of surrender. Creativity transforms inner turmoil into tangible insight. Conclusion. Embracing the flow of awakening. Surrender is not a destination, but a continuous practice, a sacred dance between effort and ease, action and non-action, control and trust. By embracing surrender as an integral part of your awakening journey, You unlock doors to unprecedented freedom and flow. As you continue your path, honor the stirrings of your soul. They are proof that you are awakening, shedding layers of illusion to embrace the infinite possibilities within. Trust that every step, even the most uncertain ones, leads you home to yourself. In the next chapter, we'll explore crossing the threshold, the moment when your journey begins anew, marking a deeper phase of soul alignment. Until then, lean into surrender, knowing it is guiding you toward wholeness. 11. The threshold crossed. Your journey begins anew. Crossing the threshold, a new beginning in awakening. There comes a moment in every awakening journey when you cross a threshold, a sacred point of no return where the old version of yourself dissolves and the new begins to emerge. This crossing is not an endpoint, but a milestone marking the transition from one phase of your unfolding to another. It's a time of profound transformation, celebration, and renewal, yet it also carries the weight of responsibility. Crossing the threshold means stepping fully into your soul's truth, embracing the unknown with courage, and committing to living authentically despite challenges. In this chapter, we'll explore what it means to cross the threshold, how to recognize its markers, and practical tools for integrating this shift into your daily life. By honoring this pivotal phase, you deepen your alignment with your soul's purpose and prepare for the next spiral of growth. What does it mean to cross the threshold? Crossing the threshold signifies that you've moved beyond resistance and surrendered to the flow of awakening. It's the culmination of all the work you've done up to this point, recognizing the call, navigating discomfort, deciphering signs, trusting intuition, surrendering control, and unlearning conditioning. When you cross the threshold, you embody the lessons of these earlier stages and step into a deeper expression of your true self. This phase often feels like a rebirth. Old identities, roles, and narratives fall away, making space for new ways of being. Relationships may shift, priorities realign, and your sense of purpose crystallizes. While the external changes vary for each person, the internal shift is universal, a profound knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. However, crossing the threshold doesn't mean the journey ends. In fact, it marks the beginning of a new cycle, one that builds upon the foundation you've created. Awakening is a spiral, not a straight line, and each threshold leads to greater depth, clarity, and expansion. Recognizing the markers of crossing the threshold. How do you know when you've crossed the threshold? While the experience is deeply personal, certain markers tend to appear across awakening journeys. Here are some signs that indicate you've entered this transformative phase. 1. Alignment with inner truth. You feel a deep resonance with your actions, decisions, and relationships. There's a sense of coherence between who you are internally and how you show up externally. You no longer tolerate environments, people, or situations that conflict with your values. 2. Increased flow and synchronicity. Life seems to flow effortlessly, with opportunities, resources, and connections appearing exactly when needed. Synchronicities multiply, confirming that you're on the right path. Challenges still arise, but they feel less daunting because you trust the process. 3. Emotional integration. You've processed significant layers of grief, fear, and resistance, allowing you to hold space for both light and shadow. Emotional highs and lows no longer destabilize you. Instead, they inform your growth and deepen your compassion. 4. Embodiment of higher frequencies. Your vibration rises as you integrate higher states of consciousness. You radiate peace, love, and authenticity, inspiring those around you. Others may comment on your presence or energy, noticing a shift in your demeanor. 5. Commitment to authentic living. You prioritize alignment over approval, choosing authenticity even when it's uncomfortable. You set boundaries without guilt, pursue passions without apology, and honor your needs without hesitation. These markers reflect a fundamental shift in perspective, from seeking external validation to trusting your inner compass. They affirm that you've crossed the threshold and are ready to embrace the next phase of your journey. Celebrating the milestone. Crossing the threshold deserves recognition and celebration. Too often, we rush past milestones, focusing solely on what lies ahead. Yet pausing to honor your progress reinforces gratitude, strengthens self-trust, and anchors the lessons of this phase into your being. Here's why celebrating is essential. 1. Acknowledgement of growth. Reflecting on how far you've come validates your efforts and reminds you of your resilience. 2. Fuel for momentum. Celebration energizes you for the next leg of the journey, keeping motivation high. 3. Connection to joy. Embracing joy, even amidst challenges, reinforces your alignment with higher frequencies. To celebrate effectively, engage in rituals or practices that resonate with your soul. For example, host a small gathering with loved ones who support your growth. Write a letter to your future self, detailing your achievements and aspirations. Create a vision board representing your new chapter. Spend time in nature, offering gratitude for the unfolding journey. By honoring this milestone, you affirm your commitment to living authentically and deepen your connection to your soul's purpose. Navigating the responsibilities of the threshold. While crossing the threshold brings immense freedom, it also carries responsibilities. As you step into greater alignment with your truth, you become a beacon of possibility for others. People may look to you for guidance, inspiration, or support, whether consciously or unconsciously. Navigating these dynamics requires discernment, humility, and grace. Below are strategies for fulfilling the responsibilities of the threshold. 1. Lead by example. Your actions speak louder than words. Model authenticity, vulnerability, and integrity in your interactions. Show others what it looks like to live from the soul rather than the ego. 2. Share without imposing. While sharing your experiences can inspire others, avoid imposing your beliefs or expectations. Respect that everyone's journey is unique and unfolds in divine timing. 3. Maintain boundaries. As you attract attention or requests for support, it's important to protect your energy. Set clear boundaries and communicate them kindly but firmly. Remember, serving others shouldn't come at the expense of your well-being. 4. Stay grounded. The heightened awareness and sensitivity that accompany crossing the threshold can sometimes lead to overwhelm. Practice grounding techniques like meditation, breath work, or spending time in nature to stay centered. 5. Embrace continuous learning. Even after crossing the threshold, there's always more to learn. Approach life with curiosity and openness, remaining receptive to new insights and perspectives. By balancing freedom with responsibility, you embody leadership not as domination but as service to the collective awakening. Stories of crossing the threshold. Real-life examples illustrate the transformative power of crossing the threshold. Consider the story of Amara, who spent years questioning her corporate career and societal expectations. After a period of intense introspection and unlearning, she left her job to pursue a passion for environmental advocacy. Initially, she feared judgment and financial instability, but as she aligned with her truth, life began flowing effortlessly. Opportunities appeared, collaborations formed, and her impact grew. Today, Amara describes crossing the threshold as stepping into my power, a moment when everything clicked into place. Then there's Liam, whose awakening led him to confront deep-seated fears of rejection and failure. Through therapy, journaling, and surrender practices, he released old paradigms and embraced his creative gifts. Crossing the threshold meant publishing his first novel, a project he'd dreamed of for years but never dared attempt. The book resonated deeply with readers, sparking conversations about identity, belonging, and healing. Liam credits this phase with teaching him the importance of courage and authenticity. These stories highlight the universality of crossing the threshold. By embracing change and committing to their truths, individuals discover unparalleled freedom and fulfillment. Practical tools for integrating the shift. To integrate the shift of crossing the threshold into your daily life, try incorporating the following exercises. 1. Affirmation practice. Write down 3 affirmations that reinforce your new reality. Examples include: asterisk, I am aligned with my soul's purpose. Asterisk, every step I take leads me closer to my dreams. Asterisk, I trust the unfolding of my journey. Asterisk, repeat them daily to reinforce positive beliefs. 2. Daily reflection prompts. Spend 10 minutes each evening answering questions like: what did I celebrate today? Where did I feel aligned with my truth? How can I honor my journey tomorrow? 3. Vision board creation. Gather images, words, and symbols that represent your new chapter. Arrange them on a board as a visual reminder of your intentions. Display it prominently to stay inspired. 4. Gratitude for growth. Reflect on moments of triumph and transformation. Write down instances where you trusted yourself or took bold action. Gratitude strengthens your connection to divine flow. 5. Creative expression. Use art, music, or writing to channel your experience into creation. For instance, compose a poem about your journey or paint an image symbolizing your threshold crossing. Creativity transforms insight into tangible form. Conclusion: embracing the spiral of awakening. Crossing the threshold is a sacred milestone, a testament to your courage, resilience, and commitment to awakening. It marks the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with infinite possibilities and profound growth. Yet it also reminds you that awakening is cyclical, spiraling ever deeper into alignment with your soul's truth. As you continue your path, honor the stirrings of your soul. They are proof that you are awakening, shedding layers of illusion to embrace the infinite potential within. Trust that every step, even the most uncertain ones, leads you home to yourself. In closing, remember that awakening the soul is not a destination but a companion, a guide for navigating the beautiful, messy, extraordinary journey of becoming who you truly are. May this series continue to hold space for you as you spiral deeper into wholeness, clarity, and love. Thank you for trusting this process and embracing the sacred unfolding of your soul. The soul begins to stir. Serafina, Hartwell 5. Spiritual Awakening Book. By Soul Sanctuary Audio. Copyright Serafina Hart. L. For the update audiobook by click Follow Soul Sanctuary Audio.